Welcome to the Innovators, the podcast where we talk to the people building the future. In each episode, we sit down with technologists, founders, researchers, and engineers who are doing real, impactful work. They're applying technologies in ways that change how we live, work, and think. Whether it's breakthroughs in AI, climate tech, health systems, or digital infrastructure, this show is about the people turning ambitious ideas into working systems. No hype, just thoughtful conversations with the folks making it happen. Welcome to The Innovators, a podcast about people doing amazing things. I'm John Biggs. Today on the show we have Ivan Abruzov. He's the CEO. He's the CEO of ClearDrop. It's a wild new product that I just discovered. Welcome, Ivan. This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
So I want you to describe what you have here. This is a soft plastic compactor. So it's basically for recycling soft plastics, and that's literally probably one of the hardest problems that recyclers have, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, one of our products. Our company is not based on just one. What we're working on is a concept of pre-recycling. And that means having new appliances in our home that will provide us ability to prepare everything we want to recycle for further processing. And obviously, I call it the low-hanging fruit. One of the biggest problems that we look at right now is that very fluffy, thin film, as they call it in the industry, that is just flying around, really hard to pack together, hardly weighs anything, hard to transport, and then in the process it also gets stuck in the recycling machines and so on. So I decided to change this and make it more palatable, something that we can manage. And there come, one of our first models is our soft plastic compact.
So the process is, it's a compactor. It's not melting the plastic. It's not doing anything else. It's just keeping.
Yeah, going back to 1940s, keep them flying kind of poster, if you remember. In our case, we do exactly the opposite. Our goal is not to let them fly. And therefore, it just keeps it together. It has a pressure of over 100 pounds inside and just sticks it together. One of our patents is on the temperature that allows plastic to melt just enough to stick to itself without actually emitting any harmful gases in any kind of meaningful amounts, and yet holding it so it can be transported. So that's pretty much what it's about, to hold it back.
And what kind of plastics? So are all the soft plastics the same, or can
of course they're not.
Can this blob go through the system easily?
The soft plastics are not exactly the same, but there are several major categories of soft plastic. In our case, there are plastics that we recommend just to recycle in the regular recycling bin, but they're probably typically a plastic called PET, and that's not exactly like plastic bag. It's typically some soft tray and so on.
What was the impetus for this product?
Well, I worked in product development my whole life. I started business when I was in my early 20s, and I always developed products and invented certain things. Worked in primarily optics and electronics industry. Built my own company thanks to a lot of luck, I think, and also very good partners and very knowledgeable people who worked with me. But eventually I felt this is wonderful, company grew pretty large and everything was working well. But I didn't feel we were making a lot of difference. It's nice to have thermal imaging equipment that could even save lives. But at the same time, I figured I want to switch to something that is truly significant, and that's when I felt one of the biggest problems is environment. And I also felt that there are things that are happening. The systems for recycling are getting more and more technologically advanced, but the actual process that where it all happens is not. We still stay with our trusty trash cans, and we try to transport trash and even recyclables. At the end of the day, they mix together and they become something that looks very much like trash. And then there's smart machines bend over backwards to separate the whole thing and so on. And it's not convenient for us. It's not very effective. I figured it's time to also create something that will be doing something, making it prepared for further processing right there on the spot where we don't want something anymore.
Interesting. And the other product that you have is a organic product collector?
Yes, we have another unit we call Organic Collector. Now, our strategy is not in possibly processing something on the spot. We're not aspiring, although, honestly, my goal is eventually, and then we'd have machines where if there's something we don't want, it will be processed right there into something useful, energy, material. I don't know. I don't have this technology yet, and hopefully maybe my children will. But at the moment, we just need to make sure that it doesn't fall over the trash can, so to speak. And in case of organics, like in case of our soft plastic compactor, we're not looking to process everything right there on the spot, but to prepare it for further processing, to optimize these situations from the moment when we want to get rid of something and we don't need it anymore. So our organics collector is not one of those composters or anything like this. We do not honestly believe in promise of making some kind of urgent composting, in your kitchen. Our job is basically to eliminate the biggest problems that have to do with collecting organics, such as, first of all, smell. If you collect something for even over a day, it starts to smell, it starts to rot, flies are flying around, all that very nasty thing. And one of the biggest problems for people, regular people, everything we make is made to be very, very comfortable, very easy to operate, not for someone who is willing to sacrifice for recycling. So it's regular people. Actually, our goal is to make things easier to use than if you don't. Something that would totally habit forming. In an organic situation, every time you peel your egg or something like this, the door opens, you drop it in there, and that's it. The only thing about it, it doesn't smell. It takes away a certain percentage of humidity, but also in the process, it doesn't require you to do anything, and it doesn't take a lot of electricity. It's very, very low power consuming. So it's not one of those things that you run for a while, and then you're like, man, my electric bill went up so much, and is it really worth it? I create this strange mix of things. I don't even know where to put it. In our case, all you do is just hold your organics for about a week. Honestly, for me, it's about 5 days. It depends how much organics your family throws away. And then you take it away and you dispose of it in the organics collector. Unless you have your own compost system, or unless you have in your neighborhood a place to dispose of your organics, our unit probably is not ideal for quite a few people, because all it does, it holds your organics and it doesn't smell. I personally put my head into the door sometimes just to smell if anything happens. And generally it doesn't have any unpleasant smells. That's all there is to it.
Now, the interesting thing is you're taking one of the hardest things that a lot of people have about recycling is that the onus is on us, the consumer, to do a lot of the work, like the sorting, the separating, all that other stuff. And then I feel like we're almost guaranteed that most of the stuff isn't recycled in the first place. I suppose a lot of metal has been recycled and a lot of plastics being recycled, but maybe bags and maybe paper and all that other stuff doesn't get recycled. What's the next step for these kinds of products? How do you make sure that the work that we as homeowners are doing gets passed on and actually gets done?
Well, in our case, of course, as we are tackling and at the moment dealing with the soft plastic contamination, it is the most crucial for us not to create some kind of greenwashing hoopla where people are just being duped into hopes that things would work. And so what we did is we went straight to a recycling facility with our system, where we actually know people who process it, what's going on with it, and where it goes. Because we could not afford, or we wouldn't even have this company. I tell my colleagues all the time, if we were to take a step somewhere on the side and try to think of how do we make money and just, kind of smooth things out, it's just not what we're all about. We're here to make a difference, or we shouldn't exist. And in our case, this is so crucial. What we do is we have our recycling, these blocks that are created by soft plastic compactor, go straight to our partner who is recycling it. And one of my colleagues was there just the other day. We definitely watch it like a hawk to make sure everything's done right. And this is going to be our future cooperation with other companies, as we grow and come along, that our promise has to be very solid.
What's one of the skills that you learned over your career that helped you build something like this? This is a very modern product, right? This is very consumer oriented, and it has a very modern feel. So what did you learn over your career that allowed you to build something out like this?
Well, good question and a big one. But to answer this question briefly, first of all, I do not consider myself incredibly high-tech person, although thanks to my engineers, we produce quite high-tech things in our days. At the moment, the soft plastic compactor is probably not one of them, but it is quite well put together. And what I've learned about business in general, creating product, we just need to use a lot of common sense. We should not be afraid of saying to ourselves, yeah, I spend much money, a lot of time, but it's just not making sense. Now, what you do is you kind of run through your brain the bunch of scenarios where you honestly just kind of reject things right off the bat and just kind of do it. So I don't know if this question, this answer is very straightforward, but one of the things that I think should direct us in every life situation, product development even more so, just have common sense. Think about all of these different things that could not go right, adapt to them right off the bat. I've been doing it my whole life, so for me it's not very complicated.
Okay, fascinating. All right, so what's next for the company? What are you building out next?
Well, our goal is to create a line of products, and as we go into this situation, first of all, we feel a lot of pain. People, not all of them, a lot of them are kind of ignorant of what's going on. But I find a lot of people who feel very strongly about doing the right thing. What we need to do is provide them with tools for pretty much everything. A while ago, I kind of coined that slogan and a mission statement for us, zero trash. That means from our home, we should not take out anything that would not be processed, anything that will go into a landfill, at least in terms of something that would be harmful to it. And obviously, there are economical reasons as well, because we are throwing away a lot of very valuable items, even organics. It's an incredible amount of energy, and we will talk about soil being depleted and so on, while we're throwing away those, very valuable things that we invested a lot of money and effort into. So we're going to make more and more different models that will cover different product types of recycling, paper, hard plastic, metal, and so on. They could be also optimized, although they may not be as pressing, but there will be. And also we move to a small business, kind of light industrial as well, restaurants, and so on. But our focus is obviously to work with public.
Okay. So the company, the website is onecleardrop.com. Just like it sounds, and both of these things are available on the wait list, right? So delivery, they delivery today, right, or yesterday?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Obviously, we're working to make sure that everything is perfect, and so we're not taking huge steps forward with volume, perhaps. But I think there's definitely need. There are some people who feel public need for things, and I think there is definitely need for society in general to change its ways. And we, so far other strategies, are clearly not doing very well.
Well, Ivan, thank you for joining us. This has been fascinating. I'm really, this is probably one of the cooler products that I've seen in a while, and I've seen quite a few.
I'm sure you did.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. And to say goodbye, I just wanted to say my suggestion to everybody. I think it's very important to tackle big global problems. It's something that makes people happy. They make them feel belonging to something. And success in this may not be necessarily 100% global success where we solve a problem forever. I think it makes people very happy and joyful. And I really appreciate everybody who is becoming our first users and those who help our company to grow.
All right. So again, check it out. So check it out, onecleardrop.com. Thank you, Ivan.
Thank you.
This has been The Innovators. I'm John Biggs. We'll see you next episode.